Greetings, everyone. This is Tpull. Welcome to Tpull's Corner. Tpull's just my screen name. My real name is Travis. This deck is simply called Dragonstorm. There's a cycle in Tarkir Dragonstorm that has all these lovely enchantments, and I got almost all of them. I think I had to burn one wild card to get my last of the 4 copies. And maybe this was premature because I am going to have to get rid of one. But it digs through my deck a little bit at least. I've been waiting a little bit of time to try and get as many of the Dragonstorm cards as I could. The way that Arena works, oh man, everything's going so fast with the release schedule. You don't feel like you have enough time to play with all the toys. Alright, should I just go ahead and do the Day of Judgment now? I've got so many board wipes early on. It's hard to avoid it. Lots of artifacts already. Okay, let's go ahead and do Teeming Dragonstorm. We'll get a couple of soldiers. The release cadence of the sets this year has been terrible with my own personally preferred schedule. All of the Universes Beyond stuff like the Turtles, I feel like I've been able to play the game during that phase of the release, and I got more Turtles cards when really I like the other stuff. That is also an artifact. Okay, so I'm just going to go in and attack. And since I have Dragonstorm Globed in, I can do 1 mana of any color, which means I can do Ultima, and I can get rid of all of this stuff. It does get rid of Dragonstorm itself, but getting rid of everything else feels like it's worth the trade. And evidently it is. Alright, this is going to be an interesting kind of dragon deck, because I've got this cycle of cards called the Dragonstorm Enchantments, and I don't have a lot of dragons. But let's go ahead and we'll show you how the deck breaks out. Welcome everybody, one and all. Okay, so we've got 3.6, which is a tad more expensive than average. You'll notice I have 4 dragons in my Dragonstorm deck, in a deck with enchantments that are all about synergies with dragons. So we've got all 5 of the actual Dragonstorm cards, so we'll pull those out. We've got Roiling Dragonstorm, only costs 2, 1 and a blue. You get to draw 2 and discard. And all of these Dragonstorm cards end with the same sentence: when a dragon you control enters, return this enchantment to its owner's hand. So next up we have Teeming Dragonstorm. Gets us 2 white soldier creature tokens. You see a picture there to the right. Not bad for the artwork. Something that costs the same amount, but green instead of white. Encroaching Dragonstorm. Search for up to 2 basic land cards. Put them in tapped. Then we have Breaching Dragonstorm. I skipped one. I'm going to go back to it. Breaching Dragonstorm is kind of interesting. Exile cards from the top of your library into exile a non-land card. You can pay without paying its mana cost if the spell's value is 8 or less, which everything in our deck is 8 or less, so not a problem. If you don't, you can put the card into your hand. And then finally, this one also only costs 2, like Roiling Dragonstorm. It's Corroding Dragonstorm, the black one. When the enchantment enters, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life, and you get to surveil 2. So, since I've got 5 colors in here, I don't have the ley lines that I normally do, but I do have 2 copies of Case of the Shattered Pact. So when I do get 5 colors out, which sometimes I just manage to get 1 copy of each of the enchantments out, and that solves this case. And then my target creature gains Flying, Double Strike, and Vigilance at the beginning of combat. So to help fix the mana, we have 2 copies of Dragonstorm Globe. Can have the dragon enters with +1/+1 counter on it, but adding 1 mana of any color. Genuinely helpful, because we kept the regular number of lands, 24 lands itself, and then if you can get these down early enough, it sort of counts like having 26 lands in your deck. It works. Because I have so few creatures, I did include board wipes, so I have 6 of them. Not a ton, and no other removal. So 4 Days of Judgment just to destroy all creatures, 1 Fumigate to gain life for each creature destroyed that way, and 1 Ultima that gets rid of artifacts. There is the downside that I would lose a Dragonstorm or 2, but usually, it's worth it if I decide to pull that trigger. Okay, the dragons, we have 3 Scavenger Regent. If I don't put it down, if I use it as the Omen sorcery, each non-dragon creature gets -X till end of turn. So I'm kind of hoping that I don't come up against other dragons, and I haven't yet, which is kind of weird to me the entire time I've been playtesting the deck. But if you just put it down as a dragon, has flying, and the ward cost for the opponent to do anything is they have to discard a card. It's not a random card. I think they get to choose the card. But if they want to target it, they need something to get rid of a 4/4 flyer, and they need to have an extra card in their hand. We have our 4th dragon, Niv Mizzet Guildpact. This card is, it's interesting. It's a 6/6 flyer, hexproof from multicolored. So there are a lot of multicolored removal spells. If we come up against a monocolor removal spell, maybe they could bounce it with blue. Most of the red can't get it unless they're willing to burn a couple of cards at a time. So we're really worried about board wipes and black mono removal. But whenever Niv Mizzet deals combat damage to a player, it deals X damage to any target. And the gains all happen with something that's not going to happen here. It's a number of different color pairs among permanents you control that are exactly 2 colors. We didn't do anything that's exactly 2 colors in this deck. It's just there to have fun. That's my funsy card. We have 2 other cards. Notice this is not from the Dragonstorm expansion. This is from Karlov Manor. Call of the Spirit Dragons. 2 copies of it. Enchantment. Dragons you control have indestructible. At the beginning of your upkeep, for each color, you put a +1/+1 counter on a dragon you control of that color. If you put +1/+1 counters on 5 dragons this way, you win the game. Since I only have 4 dragons, I cannot win the game this way. So it's only there to make my dragons indestructible, so if I cast a board wipe, my dragons will stay, and to keep putting a bunch of +1/+1 counters on them, which then I'll get a case of the Shattered Pact out by then, give them flying, Devil's Dragon, Vigilance. That's the idea. I do have not a ton of basic lands, so if I get enough encroaching Dragonstorms, I can drain my deck of the basic lands pretty quickly. But I've got some of the special lands, Restless Anchorage there. I've got a Restless Reef. Let's see, Restless Fortress, Restless Spire, Restless Vents, Restless Cottage, they're all restless, Restless Vinestock. So I can turn all of those into creatures. Got 1 Demolition Field in case they have a special card for land. 1 Fabled Passage to fix my lands and get out the basic land that color that I'm missing. 1 Soulstone Sanctuary, which can also become a creature. It permanently becomes a creature and remains a land, but 3/3 with Vigilance. 1 Pit of Offerings to use my Graveyard Hate. I always have 1 Pit of Offerings in every deck, pretty much. And 2 copies of Maelstrom with the Spirit Dragon. I can use it as generic mana, colorless mana, I should say, or add 1 mana of any color. I can only cast it for a dragon spell or an omen spell. Very limiting, because I only have 3 there, right? And then you can spend 4, sacrifice the land, search your library for a dragon card, and that's really what I have this in the deck for, is when I need my dragon card, that's when I go get it. And then all of this stuff that I already have on the battlefield, it all comes back up to my hand and is reusable for just a lot of added value. So I simply call the deck Dragonstorm. I'm sure there's got to be tons of people. You can copy the deck list below from Aetherdrift. I've got the link to the deck list in the YouTube text. I'm sure there's got to be tons of decks already called Dragonstorm out there. I probably should have been more inventive, but I've had comments from time to time that people don't like. There's some people that don't appreciate the tricky names or the humorous names that I give my deck sometimes, so they're like, keep it simple. So, okay. I kept it simple. You can rename it if you want to. You could call it 5-color Dragonstorm. I've had interesting days with this deck. Oh, we're in the... hang on, I have to eat pizza. The opponent could eat it, right? Our goal is to go find all the pizzas. There's 5 on this map. Okay, I ate all the pizza. I am sufficiently, my appetite is satiated temporarily. We might have to worry about counter spells. We've got 3 colors to worry against already. I'm going to try and hold on to Pit of Offerings if I can. So it'll delay Day of Judgment by 1 turn. They're blue. You have to give them extra time. You know, it's turn 3. It's like the most important turn of the game. You need to give them time to figure out the complicated things of what they want to do. Like nothing. Okay, that was worth the wait, wasn't it, folks? Playtesting has been odd this last week. Some days I can do no wrong with this deck. Other times they put me up against a bunch of weenie cheap cards and multiplying bunnies and stuff like that, which I can still beat sometimes. But you have to draw the board wipes to help you out. Okay, they tap out. That's a little overextended, and this is kind of something that if they had kept and waited for a 5th land, when they already have 3 creatures out, maybe it would have been worth them holding back because they lose all that. I haven't used Read a Freebooter that much, but the Death Trigger is kind of nice. Gives you early damage, gives you a nice, easy chump blocker. Let's go ahead and get rid of that now. We'll take all their creatures, just in case. And let's see if we can go get some other colors, or if they actually have a counterspell in there. We want black and red because we have a blue source there. Or actually, you know what? Let's see, black, red. Let's go ahead and do blue and red because I've got my black source there from Pit of Offerings now. So I won't need to wait. I could cast this if I wanted to. Maybe I should have taken the Scry. I didn't know they have Storm Chaser Talent, but they tapped out mostly to do it. They have 1 treasure left. I think that's a good point to get down Call of the Spirit Dragons. They might not be able to get rid of it. I think whatever they have is just like another Scry card or something. That's what I'm hoping. So we'll put the tap land down. Call of the Spirit Dragons. Down to 12 life points. And we just don't care, because life's just a number. Life points are just a number. As long as we have 1, we're going to be good. See Captain America's shield over there. So we are at that point. We are playing Magic the Gathering with the beach ball, Captain America's shield, on a land for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We used to joke about this stuff. My opponent might not appreciate jokes while I'm using up all my board wipes on them. Alright, I want another Corroding Dragonstorm, yes. But I don't need it right now. I actually like Restless Cottage. If they have removal, I want them to use it on a couple of these land cards. And then when I get my dragon, maybe it'll be safer. As a matter of fact, maybe they forget I have land cards. Maybe I don't even attack. I'll just wait and let Marauding Blight Priest run into one of my lands. I want the Corroding Dragonstorm next turn, so I'm not using Breaching Dragonstorm. I just want to draw that and use that. And now an experienced opponent, I was going to say, would hold on to their mana in case they had removal. I don't think the 1 is enough. Right? What can you do? Okay, we got them to use up their treasure, which is also good. Don't mind that trade. Alright, so first we do Breaching Dragonstorm to get a free spell out. It's free now. We paid the 5 already. Let's go ahead and get rid of Restless Vents. We'll go ahead and play down Corroding Dragonstorm. And I don't think we need Dragonstorm Globe anymore. We should have just enough to cast this and this. If I play the Regent, then I'll get 5 of these back up into my hand. But is that... Oh, do they have the combo? They have the combo. I don't think there was anything I could have done to stop that. When they got it, they got it. Whenever you gain life, opponent loses 1 life. So they had a couple of those cards already. Maybe I could have stopped that. Could I stop that by playing the dragon itself? This is kind of a bad start. I got both of these at the opening hand. It's going to be a while before I can cast those. This lights up because I could pay 2 black X and make the X's 0 and just cast the Omen and not have any impact on anything. But I'm going to have to remember to speed past that. Okay, maybe this isn't the worst case because I can't use that anyway. But if I don't get the right land soon, this kind of strategy can also kill me easily enough. They're looking at my Restless Fortress already, but they also want to power this up. So, that kind of works out for me. I don't think I have to worry about any of my cards leaving. But let's go ahead and get rid of their Demolition Field. And we'll go get a forest. Unfortunately, from that little reshuffling, we miss a land drop next. The opponent might have a ton of removal. The shuffler is fine. 2 turns without a land drop. This usually means they have Ugin. Okay, it's tap land, but at least we got a 4th land, so we can go fix the rest of our land after this. We need 1 red, and we need 1 more white for double white. We've got double black already for this. Let's see. As long as you control an artifact, creature, or a plan, he's indestructible. What do we want to do? We may have to use one of these to get rid of all of these. We can make them -X, and the indestructible won't stop that. Fortunately, we're already going to be half dead after this. Yeah, I want to say, this many artifacts usually means Ugin. Not bad to get the ooze and combine that with the discard. I can do -5. Okay, they tapped out. More than half dead. And they have card draw. Alright, we'll get rid of the creatures. Hopefully they don't have another Doctor Doom. I'd prefer to keep this dragon and not use it as a board wipe and start using these as board wipes. Okay, so what do you take? I need them to leave Call of the Spirit Dragons alone. They already got one copy of that. I also need a dragon, so... They're not even blue, but they're having a hard time trying to figure out what's the biggest thing to take. They take a board wipe. After my land fixing, I still only have one more land than them. Missing a couple of board wipes may be all that's needed for them to take me out. Alright, let's get a little bit of life back. And yeah, that'll work. As long as they have discard spells, if they think they might be safe from getting rid of my board wipe by making me discard it, knowing I've already got one in the draw queue is good for me. There's the Ugin. I don't know how to get around that. They probably got me. Especially if they have 4 copies of that.
Knowledge is a virtue.
They got rid of the right card too.
This broken world. Energy for your efforts. My resources are yours.
Can they activate that without it being a sorcery? I think they can. No, can't do that part. Alright, let's try Restless Fortress. I think they can just block it with that, though. And my lands aren't quite enough to do anything. Oh, never mind. They have everything they need. Alright, we're not going to hang around for that. They've got a Planeswalker. This is the opposite of what's been happening for the last 2-3 days. I've been mostly going up against a bunch of really, really cheap stuff. Tonight, it's like big spells and combo packages that are suddenly all back in fashion. It's a decidedly different kind of environment from the last few nights I've been playing. But yeah, the in-universe sets, I haven't... Normally, I like to play and get my 15 wins. I rarely get to do it anymore. If I'm lucky, I'll get 5 wins and then it's time for bed. Because I gotta work each day. And when I've had more spare time, it's been when the Universes Beyond sets have been in rotation. And so Tarkir, I missed out on getting a few of the cards I felt like. What are the others that have been good? I wish I'd gotten a little more Edge of Eternity's cards. I wish I'd gotten a little bit more Secrets of Strixhaven by now. And then we're already into Marvel. The good news is I have all of the avatars. Uh-oh, we got a haste. Alright, let's go get a couple of white mana sources so we can start casting our board wipes. And hopefully they can't do 16 points of damage in one turn. It's been a while since we've seen this combo with Storm Splitter. Depending on how they have their deck configured, they might already have won. Because the rest of the cards are just draw cards, basically. I'll go ahead and let this play out. It's been a while since we've seen this, so these all have haste, right? So I think they've got lethal damage already. So yeah, 5-turn kill. Arena does not like this deck, by the way. It's only got a very small number of creatures in it. It's not overloaded with a bunch of removal. Even the board wipes are relatively small in number total. So, you know, it's got narrow uses. The value, once you can get the dragon down and you can reuse all your Dragonstorm cards, that's where the real beauty of the deck is. But Arena likes to pitch you up against a bunch of stuff, as you see, and of course they get the cards they want. And we needed the one turn to get the land so we could do the board wipe. And that was all they needed to take care of us. In the meantime, it's taking 30 seconds entirely just for them to find us another opponent. Pit of Offerings in the opening hand again, like way too often happens. We don't like to see that. But maybe it'll be in our favor if they've got a reanimate deck. Let's go ahead and surveil 2. We get a dragon, we get a land. Let's get the untapped land first. See if they start throwing stuff away with Collector's Vault or not. Draw a card for them. We're going to wait and just draw our dragon normally. And now I think we were okay to just hold on to Pit of Offerings until they start throwing stuff away. All those cards, we've got 3 drops, 2 drops, and 1 drop. So, are we finally at the white weenie deck type of thing? Let's see what else we got coming up. I don't think I need a second one of those. The Dragonstorm Globe will turn out good. That's unusual. I expected them to put out another creature. I've been very patient so far, and it's kind of burned us a lot. I say us. I know it's me playing and making all the decisions. I just like you guys to feel included. This feels like an appropriate time for a board wipe. Finally. Can't stop all that life gain, but that's okay. So like 9 creatures or something? Okay, let's go ahead and make sure they can't bring some of those back. There. What colors do we need? We don't need any more white. I could use one more black source. Oh look! After a board wipe, they still have a 1-cost spell. Gains 1 in Death Touch, okay. Does it matter what colors we get after this? Probably not. It should be enough to do what we want to do. They could destroy an enchantment. They decide not to. Let's go ahead and start putting the hurt on them. This is really good to find out if they have a removal card or not. Yeah, we'll hold on to that. Why not? So they kind of have their engine going. Throw the creature away, get it back out, get a zombie each time they do it. Ooh, a breaching Dragonstorm. They see no need to keep their pacifisms. Bat, lizard, rat, or squirrel. It's a bird. See what we can get. Dragonstorm! Into another Dragonstorm! Into an encroaching Dragonstorm. It gives me more land. And then one more Dragonstorm, shall we? Into a Dragonstorm! Now we're talking. Restless Vinestock is not needed. This is the combo that we want. We now feel very good. Opponent keeps digging. How many more cards they got? 123? They decided they have enough land. Don't really care. I don't want to throw them in the graveyard, but we bring this down, and everything else comes back up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can I play something? I could do Corroding Dragonstorm and surveil the same cards again. I actually want the land before the artifact. And now they can kind of see my hand. They know exactly I have to discard a couple. They can see so much. Okay, our life totals are about the same. We've got an indestructible card. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean, they've already got at least 2 pacifisms. If they manage to target it with the pacifism, that could hurt me. Oh, look at that. Okay, cooped up. They'd have to discard another card, but they've got it to throw away. Just another land. This deck's going to have plenty of land. They don't really need any more, right? They've got 9. So I need my white Dragonstorm cards to get some more creatures out. That's okay, because we can do stuff like this. Force a shuffle. We can do this. Get the last basic lands out. We can also do this. Gain some life that way. 25 cards left versus 119. It's a dragon! Ooh, a second one? I need that first, though. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Draw 2, get rid of 1. Let's play this now. And this now. We don't have any more lands to get out, but we can continue to play the Corroding Dragonstorm and Teeming Dragonstorm. Perfect. We solved the case already, and we've got all these lovely little counters that can put on things. We don't have Trample, though, right? So one thing we're missing. And they have another one. They've got such luck, 118 cards. And they've already gotten 4 of these. All in very good time. And here's a Petrify. So they've got their entire deck is based on that idea. And I think we just fly over their heads. I mean, they could burn some treasures to go ahead and exile the dragon now. They don't. It doesn't. I don't think they'd have to have a card to discard to target it. But yeah, back up to 129 cards. They're gonna have to give up Momo. I don't think they want to have a double strike 4 points against them. Oh, are they gonna take that? Wow. Let's add another card into the mix. Another creature. Why not? I mean, are they just going to fly over my head and do 3 points of damage before they scoop? Is that their... Okay, they don't even bother. Alright, we finally climbed back up from the depths of our defeats. 2 wins, I think 3 losses so far. Sometimes it can take a while to get everybody all assembled, but we got the enchantment that made our dragons indestructible. It just turns out that Arena put us up against our kryptonite, against somebody who had white spells that pacified our dragons all the time. So the dragon itself didn't seem like it was able to do much, but it pumped up all those Dragonstorms back up into our hand. Got all our lands out on the field, and we could just go through the rest of our deck pretty quickly to get the rest of what we needed. And that's how this deck is designed to work. Look at this, another deck. 215 cards. No basic lands. Plenty of targets for their demolition field. They use their Pit of Offerings already? Let's see what we got coming up. We'll take the basic land first, and then the way to search for another basic land. I'm all about getting lands right now. If I can get the globe down, that gives me the second black source, and I can use this as a board wipe if I need to. And, you know, I've got 3 different choices. This will be a 4th choice against them. So whatever they want to get rid of, we don't mind too much. I kind of hope they don't do it this turn, because I kind of like getting these lands coming up next. The question is, do they actually have... Are they getting land starved and they have to choose a card to discard? That'll give us 3 wins and put us back to our 50% win ratio, but... Yeah, they got land starved. Alright. What are you gonna do? I don't come up against my opponents being land starved that often. Usually it's me. It hasn't been too egregious tonight. We've had, you know, a couple of games where I missed a couple land drops in a row. And you could definitely argue that that played towards those defeats. It's not as bad as a couple other nights I've had. This week, oh, there was some gruesome land starvation. And then I had a deck that had 2 Pit of Offerings in it. And it dealt me that at the opening. And I'm just like, nope, and I mulliganed, which I almost never mulligan. And it gave me 3 lands, but 2 of them were the same 2 Pit of Offerings again. It was disgusting. This was after about 3 different games in a row of not enough land being dealt. And I'm not sure why our opponent is hanging on. Maybe because I haven't done anything that much yet. Okay, we've got red, we've got blue. I do need 1 more white mana source in case they get rid of the globe, so we'll do that, and we'll put down some creatures. And if we want, we can put the dragon down early and get both of these enchantments back up into our hands and recycle those. And this is usually when they scoop. Cheap removal, but that's an expensive card. This may not be the best put together deck. Oh, again, Wizards of the Coast, give us a YouTube channel for this game so we don't have to sit through this. Y'all could have queued ahead, but I had to sit through it. If I wasn't recording, I'd just drag out my phone and play my mobile games while I waited. Alright, that one was not exciting, so we're going to do one more. I feel good in that I've demonstrated almost every card in the deck already. It would be nice to actually get the dragon out and have him stay, right? But we mostly expect our creatures to get destroyed. Arena is a very removal-heavy environment these days. But every once in a while I get somebody that is not ready to deal with indestructible. And that can be kind of fun. Got a bunch of the expensive cards out first. This might help. Black and white again. This feels like this is becoming more popular these days than the simple mono white life gain decks. But I'm not sure why they're taking so long. Let's see, I do need to get my second white source so I can cast the board wipes, so that's more important to get ready now. But we can put the tap land down now and then this down next. And so we hope that they put down one more creature. Perfect. That is what you would expect to see from these decks. Close to half dead again already. Turn 4. Board wipe. Just call me the janitor because I'm sweeping. Why didn't any of you tell me we were on a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles environment? I have to eat all the pizzas so that they don't... I don't know if... Can the opponent see this? Does anybody know? Leave a comment. Can the opponent see me eating the pizza? Like, it doesn't replenish, so I just ate up everything that's there. They don't get their own pieces they can eat on their own side, do they? Let's put down a Dragonstorm card. I'm kind of just goofing off at this point. Yeah, I'm going to throw the forest away. Green, blue, white, black, red. I do need one more color. Are they going to get rid of my Breaching Dragonstorm? That's actually the wrong call, I think. The Corroding Dragonstorm is better for me to reuse when I get my dragon. Oh, it's like I'm playing a blue opponent. They're taking so long to figure out one hit. Okay, we can now, if I feel comfortable with my lands, I can call up the dragon at any time. They're just drawing creature after creature. Maybe they'll just quit. Maybe they'll take a look at my cards. 3 board wipes? Is this an all board wipe deck? I do have one of those. It has 36 board wipes in it. If you're newer to the channel and you haven't checked that out yet, it wasn't too long ago. In case they have a card that can protect it, get rid of the Panda too. It's all creatures. Alright, let's go get some lands. That's kind of the relief I need. Why didn't I see my mountain? Oh, when it does that it exiles the cards, doesn't it? I lost 2 lands. Okay. Alright, we're taking our own sweet time to set up here, but we will have the case completed with this card, this one card. And if they destroy that, we've got another 5-color card. But once this is completed, we don't need to worry about anything. They can't unsolve it, so you gotta choose: do you get rid of this that gives everything double strike, or do you get rid of the Call of the Spirit Dragons? Call of the Spirit Dragons it is. All right. That's too many dogs. I'm going to use my dragon on it. Oh, never mind. How about we just bring down the dragon? We'll get all of our other stuff back. They'll get 1 more life out of it. Hopefully that is not another Prayer of Binding. They've got a lot of extra cards in that deck. They do need to keep a 2nd card ready to discard if they want to target that. Ah, Feladar's Retreat. Okay, we're in luck. We're in business. Unless they have a board wipe themselves, they can't do anything about that. They fizzled. They didn't pay attention to the ward cost. That gives us so much extra time. Thin my deck, get the lands out now. Wait, I thought this was solved. Let's do it this way. You got to give them time to read that. That's a lot of words on that card. I don't know if this card's an instant or if they could spend this 4 to tap this land and that's how they hold up priority. None of these cards hold up priority over here. It's a fun deck. I like the Dragonstorm cycle. Once I put 4 copies of each of the Dragonstorm cards into the deck, it was kind of like, I don't have room for too many more dragons. What else can we do? We can do this. Is it my imagination, or was the opponent moving much faster when they thought they were winning? And now all of a sudden we're getting roped. That's why. Alright. They're taking their choice and they're going home. It can be frustrating, but you know what? One of the decks that I haven't done in a long time is the Planeswalker decks with board wipes. It's very effective, but it can be frustrating to play against. So, but this is a few board wipes, but not Planeswalkers. So you can see I kept 4 copies of all of the Dragonstorm cycle cards. And that's 20 cards, so you add in your 24 lands and a couple of mana helpers, and that's 46. There wasn't room for a lot of extra stuff. I did need some interaction. So, I mean, technically, if you want to have some more fun, you could find some more of these Tarkir Dragonstorm cards with the omens, and maybe take out some of the board wipes if you didn't want to do the board wipe route, and just put 6 more dragons in instead, and then you could have 10 dragons, and you might still have some fun. If you wanted to, you could even make them 2-color dragons and have more fun with Niv-Mizzet. But I'm not sure that the Dragonstorm cards mixed with Niv-Mizzet are the best assortment. You'll notice that with a lot of these cards, I didn't make full advantage of every aspect of the card, especially something like Niv-Mizzet. So there's additional things that you can do with these things. Call of Spirit Dragons also, you could organize it a different way so that you could do the alternate win scenario there, which I may still do, but I don't think it'll be a Dragonstorm deck. It might still be useful to have a couple of these Dragonstorm cards in to help out in terms of like, oh, maybe I could use this for a land ramp card, that kind of thing. And if I made a bigger dragon type deck, maybe I wouldn't have 4 copies of each, but just 1 or 2 copies of each. And you could still use the Dragonstorm cycle, but really have a much bigger dragon synergistic deck. But overall, I have a lot of fun with that. It reminds me almost a little bit of the Shrine decks in a way. But again, hey, we did pretty good with it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Give me a like and subscribe if you're of a willing mind to, and we'll have something different for you next time. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.